Confused.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Something Super Podcast. I'm Steve.
Mark.
I'm Jay.
And guys, this week, because we're doing new shows that have come out recently, we're going to talk about Titans. So Titans is on its third season. This season is, I believe, the first official season that was picked up strictly by HBO. So I'm hoping to see a little bit more out of it. I know we previously talked about Titans and how Beast Boy has only ever been two animals. So I'm looking forward to getting a little bit more out of him, and I think they were hinting at that in the first episode. So
Yeah, he was definitely sitting there watching like the animals on the computer. He's watching like YouTube videos of just like nature, and he's like having a conversation with himself, pretending he's talking to Raven, and he's like, "Yeah, you can be anything you want to be. Yeah, it's a lot easier than it say." Like,
so obviously during the animated series alone, he oftentimes went to a gorilla, and I noticed he was watching a gorilla on the computer, which I thought was pretty cool.
gorilla and a tyrannosaurus usually in the animated series.
That was going to be my next call. Was he's going to hopefully get the gorilla, with an attempt or two, because this seems like the beginning of him learning how to use his powers.
Right.
But I would like for him to get real wild at the end of it and hit the T-Rex. Like that would be awesome if they like close the season out with that. But I'm okay with waiting if it needs to be until like season 4, because I get budgeting issues, because that's a lot to animate. But holy shit, would that be fucking awesome?
Yeah, because I know he definitely does. He was watching like videos of silverbacks and stuff. So I definitely think we're going to get the gorilla, because we've gotten the tiger, we've gotten a snake.
That's it.
That's
he
it.
was
Just
a snake
those two.
when they were fighting Trigon, and he was a tiger literally every other time.
I thought he was a bird. I thought he did a bird in one of the episodes too, like when they were like in the warehouse. Or
No,
no,
I
that
This
was the
season,
tiger.
this season, I think he was a bird. No, he was
No, he was this tiger.
it was just a
Just
tiger
the
in the warehouse.
tiger.
I could be wrong. I believe it was just the tiger and the snake, but correct me if I'm wrong.
I thought maybe he was a bird too, but no, I'm definitely up that alley with you. And I mean, so what do you guys think of the Red Hood's look?
I don't like the mouth. And by mouth, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He
I don't
looks
like the
like,
helmet at all. So
yeah, he looks like a knockoff Iron Man. And I'm a huge Iron Man fan. And I just don't like the helmet.
I think it looks like a fucking cartoon and not the good kind.
It doesn't. Yeah, I say it doesn't even look good cartoony. Like the representation they had in the cartoons, it was a very like one piece mask. I mean, maybe split, down the middle like it is, so you can take the front of the mask off.
I think the front of the mask kind of opened up a little bit so he could slide the helmet off, but it was still like a motorcycle helmet. Like it still came over his head. It wasn't like Iron Man where like it came out and up and like disconnected in like 4 different sections. Because if you remember when he's fighting Batman on top of the church, like the helmet rolls and it's all in one piece and then it explodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think the eyes look god fucking awful.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the like bright white eyes. I don't know. It like the eyes and the mouth make him less threatening.
I feel like if they would have kind of went with like the subtle eyes, like Deadpool's mask, kind of like in the live action Deadpool mask, but like they didn't have the animation of them moving. Like if they just stuck with like that style, like egg white, not the bright, like almost illuminated white, it would look 10 times better. Because that's what throws it off for me is I'm like, wow, this is a completely believable character. And then I look at the helmet in the face and I'm like, wow, you're just a fucking TV character. Like,
so obviously we covered in our second ever episode Under the Red Hood, which is technically the like birthplace of this storyline. This is an offshoot of that. They're doing their own thing, which I'm completely okay with. The MCU does it with all of their movies and TV shows. It's based on the comic, but it's different in their own way. And we have the multiverse to blame for that, and that's fine. So what do you guys think as far as this season's storyline in connection to the Red Hood?
I like the little nod they did to the show when he just dropped the bag of heads on the table.
Absolutely. I was a huge fan of that because I think that was one of the most pivotal points in the animated movie.
Yeah,
And they've been calling back to the movie a little bit too. Like, but the thing is, they're just replacing Bruce with Dick. Like, Dick goes out, digs up the grave. They mention like, how could he have come back from the dead? And even I think it's Starfire was like, well, what about like the Lazarus pit? And he said something about now Raish is in whatever country or something.
Yeah.
But it's like, even still, so then it's like, so now I'm like, okay, so who's really behind it all? Like, we haven't seen Blackfire yet, and we're 3 episodes in. I'm assuming it's only gonna be like a 9 or 10 episode season. So like, when's Blackfire gonna come in? Because now we're a third through, so maybe she's pulling strings somewhere with it. But like, they are doing a lot of good callbacks like to that story, because that to me is my favorite animated movie. I think next to like Justice League War Dark, like and Flashpoint. Other than those two like animated movies, I think Under the Red Hood for me is like one of the best ones. I mean, just the cast alone, you had Jensen Ackles, you had Neil Patrick Harris, like you had all these guys. And like you said, go back, guys, take a listen to our second episode. We go deep dive into that. But for me, like the Red Hood story it's just unique because, like we'd say there, literally DC put in like a poll in one of their comics and was like, would you guys want to see Dick or Jason Todd die? And literally the fans are like, fuck him, kill him off. And then next thing you know, you have Death in the Family where Joker beats him with the crowbar and kills him. And that's the other ballsy thing that they're doing here. If they're really doing it that way, they kill off the Joker, which for me, it's like just the way it was done. It's done off screen. Like it's Bruce who finally like allegedly does it with a crowbar. I'm like, that's just so like.
I like the fact of the crowbar
written.
idea, just because it's just like you see Joker just with the crowbar in the beginning when he's beating Jason to death. And like you just see it in his hand, and then you just see Bruce like it's done, and he just tosses the crowbar. Doesn't say anything more. So you're like, you know what he just did. He didn't have to tell you he killed Joker. It just sliding the crowbar across the ground just says everything that it has to.
But my thing is like that's just such a pivotal moment in DC like universe. That would be like if the Avengers just came back and like if they're like, oh, we got to fight Thanos, and then they just come back and they just have the gauntlet and they just throw the gauntlet on the ground. They're like, it's done, and then they like that's the end of Endgame. Yeah. Like you don't even show the fight. Like for me, like if you're gonna kill off the Joker, like I get.
Well, do you really think it was an actual fight?
No, he probably just went in and beat him up because in the Under the Red Hood, like Batman even grabs him. He says, "Are you going to finally do it, or are you just going to put me in a body cast again for 6 weeks?" Like in the animated movie, they allude to like Batman beat the shit out of him to the point that he almost killed him, and that's the whole thing. Is like for me, the Red Hood storyline. It's not even about Jason. It's about Batman finally coming to terms and like explaining, like, look, here's why I don't kill. He says it would be too easy for me to do and to cross that line. And here, like, they just kind of show it. Like, they're like, okay, he's just done. He just did it. He went over the edge.
All right. So let me ask you this in regards to them not showing the Joker's death and then not really showing the Joker much at all. He had a very like Cesar Romero sort of costume.
I did like the laugh, though.
Correct.
I thought the laugh was great.
Now, I know we had talked about this in our previous episode in, preparation for Titans. Are you upset with the fact that they didn't show the Joker, but at the same time kind of happy because then they really couldn't fuck the Joker up too bad?
So for me, I respect them not showing the Joker because I understand that as a producer, I wouldn't want him. Like as soon as you mentioned the Joker, he takes all the spotlight, which is not what you want in this show. It's an ensemble show. You don't want one character to overrule everything else. Now, if he was going to be a main antagonist, okay, then you lead and you do like the thing. But the way that they did it was fine up until they had Bruce, quote unquote, kill him if he did. Because I feel like a Joker death has to be shown because he's that pivotal of a character.
No, I agree with that.
Like, had you done everything that they did up to that point, and maybe it was, even if it was, it's over, he throws in the crowbar, and the reports just Joker was beaten within an inch of his life, and then Batman's gone. That even I could respect. But the fact that you just kill him off screen is kind of like.
Well, I think, like you had sort of alluded to, maybe he's not dead.
And that's my thinking. I don't think he's dead.
Because honestly, like Batman has the resources to have somebody that looks like Joker that happens to be dead put in a cell and beaten with a fucking crowbar.
Right.
And he could just take Joker elsewhere, and that's where he is currently. They're off world doing other shit, doing whatever the fuck Batman does. And I think another big thing for this, because it wasn't part of Under the Red Hood, like Batman saying to Dick Grayson, like, be a better Batman.
Right.
I think that's why Dick is taking the role of Batman in all of those like pivotal fight scenes.
No, and that I'm fine with. Like, I get where they're going because they're making it more of Dick versus Jason rather than Jason going after Bruce. Because the whole reason why Jason goes is really like targets Bruce kind of is because he felt like he was just a throwaway. Like Dick even says in the series is like the computer's like whatever was updated and it's all these files on kids to be possibly be next Robins. And that's when Dick's like, dude, like he's been dead a week. Like
not even.
Yeah, like
he's been dead a day.
Was it the next day? I thought it was.
Yeah, I thought it was like the next day.
I thought that was like within the week. But
no,
either way.
So he waited a week after Dick left to get Jason. And then like, I think it was within like 48 hours. He was already looking. But that also leads me to believe he keeps a constantly updated file of kids that he could potentially recruit as a new Robin.
So can we talk about something else? The fact that Tim Drake is not white.
I could care less. More so about.
It's just weird.
I mean, it different. Starfire's.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I mean they don't really care because it's
also little confused.
On what?
What?
His whole like
family dynamic is weird.
Yeah. That
so
just
I have a feeling
seemed off.
Well, isn't it
I don't remember how he actually like originally became a part of the Batman family, so that this could be close, but
yeah, I'm excited to see how they bring him into because they did very little with his character. Like obviously he had the interaction with the police. They told him to find a better hero because he had the Batman stickers on his bike. Like, okay.
His cousin's a criminal, apparently.
I mean, it's a stretch, but it's possible. This cousin just got a lot of money. Like, why does it make him a criminal?
Yeah, like
I'm 99% sure his cousin's a criminal of some sort.
I mean, I'm not ruling it out. I'm just saying, like, his cousin handed him like $200 and he's like, go buy yourself some new shoes. Don't look like a loser on the first day of school.
Yeah, so Tim, he was, I believe, the only Robin other than Barbara, if you want to call Barbara a Robin, who like wasn't an orphan. So basically, he does eventually lose his parents, but his mom suffers from like a mental breakdown after her husband dies of natural causes. And then Tim puts her in a mental home and Bruce takes him in.
But what about his dad?
His dad just dies. I don't think there was really anything super crazy about it.
Yeah, I like the sort of twist that he does have like a caring family in this, but he wants to do right by the world and he wants to do better.
Right.
So I respect it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see like what they do with the character because obviously I think he's eventually going to be, but does that mean like, I think if he eventually becomes Robin, does that mean that you're going to have by the end of the season, do you think Dick's going to be the new Batman?
I want to say yes and no. I want to say no because the show is called Titans. You know, it's we're not dipping our foot in the Justice League pool just yet. And
yeah, that's how you write him out. He becomes Batman, but then you carry on with the Titans team in San Francisco, which right now, as I was saying, I think is just getting fucked in the ass.
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, that's the funny thing too. Like, they all left, and I understand like they're doing right by Jason by coming, and going to his funeral, which no one even knew about. Bruce which I also believe Bruce knew he wasn't dead. Can we like talk about that too? Because Bruce buried the casket under the cloak of night with telling 0 people.
See, I don't think that that's the case because why would he then go to kill the Joker?
I think originally, so like he kills the Joker before the funeral happens.
No, the funeral was literally he
The
buried
next day.
he buried Jason before Dick even got there.
Okay, so
And then Dick was asleep
you're
when
right,
he
you're
killed
right.
Joker. So it was literally like he took the body from the morgue essentially and
So
buried it.
my
So to me, I feel because the big thing in the comic and in the cartoon was Bruce, it's too traumatic for Bruce to even check the body. Because remember, he says, had I checked the body, I'd have realized it wasn't Jason. Like when he digs it up, and then that's when he goes
Yeah.
and confronts Ra's al Ghul. So for me, I feel like Bruce just finally snapped and his emotions got the best of him. And
so that's another thing I want to sort of pose the question to you guys. Do you think the Lazarus Pit has anything to do with this? Obviously, it was mentioned.
I think it was mentioned, but I think that they did. I don't think that that was like a misdirection for them to be like, oh, Raish is in another country. Like, I really feel like they're going to go a different route with it, which I'll be interested to see like what that route is. But
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be a Lazarus Pit type of thing.
I mean, that would be obviously the thing that would make sense. But I'm curious to see if there's, like you said, Blackfire might be behind it. If there's some Tamaranian tech that revives people from the dead that Starfire is just like unaware of, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's other people coming in too. Because the thing that I'm wondering is, remember, before he goes after Joker, I thought initially he was gonna be like it was Venom. That's what I thought he was like inhaling, like the gas thing that he was working on, that compound. So I'm wondering if maybe that drug had something to do with.
Yeah, that could have been like a false death type thing. Like even if he was beaten within an inch of his life, it would seem like he was dead. And then as long as his body had time to recover.
Right. Because I mean, I don't know. For me, it's just there's something like I can't put my finger on it, but there's something that's just not sitting right with me. And I don't know if it's them killing off the Joker, because in the comics, like Joker goes toe to toe with Superman, like without issues. And now you're telling me Batman just killed him in a jail cell and no guards like saw it happen or anything. Like,
Well, I mean, we as Americans know you can pay guards off.
correct.
But
again, now but if you're going that route, you're really, really, really tarnishing the name Batman.
I agree. You're first tarnishing the name Batman and you're like disparaging the name Joker. Right. Because you're absolutely correct. Regardless of scenario, regardless of, whatever goes on between them, Joker has stood his ground with Batman. Now, I'm not saying that he necessarily has the strength or endurance or anything, but like he always put up a good fight. It was never just like, all right, whatever. And I'm dead.
Right. And like, I don't know. For me, it's such a big antagonist to just kill off.
I agree. But again, it could have very well been,
that's why I think
Gotham, it's not the actual Joker.
And that's why I think it's a misdirection personally. But time will tell. We'll see. Because like that's a character you could bring back and be an antagonist in season 4. Like he's battled the Justice League by himself, like just him and Harley. Like having him take on the Titans wouldn't be too big of a stretch.
Yeah. I'd like to see, like the rogue gallery of villains, obviously. And yeah, I what did you guys think about Gizmo?
So Gizmo's a character. I don't know if they just made him up for the show or if he's he's in the comics and everything.
So the original Teen Titans animated series, he looked like a child. He was a little bald.
He had like the back
spider legs.
Yeah. Okay. See, that's who I thought that was supposed to be. But then when he was like an adult, I was like,
so it threw me at first too. I had no idea who he was. Now, obviously, now that I'm like looking back on it, I'm like, all right, the goggles on the head, the backpack, the tech. Okay, it makes sense. But Gizmo in the original series had that like super high pitched whiny voice, and like
he was always
a child.
Yeah, he was like 4'2".
And him and Beast Boy were always going at it.
Well, because wasn't he into Beast Boy's girl?
Well, I mean, the one big thing that he wanted was he was obsessed with like hacking Cyborg.
Yep.
Like he wanted Cyborg's tech, but Beast Boy like was always the one that like thwarted his plans pretty much because it was him, and then there was the purple chick,
Jinx,
and
it
then
was
I forget
Jinx, Mammoth, and
and
why can't I think of it? I literally just said his name.
yeah.
Wow. But point being, I would like to see them bring out like the Hive, which would be super cool.
And that's what I'm wondering.
Again, I mean,
what if Hive's behind bringing Jason back?
That would be dope as shit too. Again, like Brother Blood, that whole, connection to the animated series. Again, I thought the animated series was well before its time. Like it was such a good show. It was emotional. It was actiony. It had laughs in it, but it wasn't too like cheesy kiddie type show, like, Teen Titans Go or whatever's going on now.
Like they actually tackled real situations. Like
yes. And then like the entire time, because as a kid, I didn't know as much as I do now. Like Slade, I didn't know it was Deathstroke.
Because they never called him some dude,
and then I also assumed it was Robin's father, like the entire fucking show, because that's just like what they alluded to.
Right. That's like, nope, not at all. He's actually a mercenary who has two other kids who also try to murder everybody eventually.
But so the 3 or 4 seasons that they have of like the Teen Titans show, I'm definitely going back and rewatching that on HBO Max.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, like I'm excited to see, because I mean, one of the final things, I mean, I don't know what else you guys really had to talk about, but killing off Hank. Like, did you think that was gonna happen, or do you think that they were gonna save him?
I thought they were saving him, hands down. I love the fact what Jason did though for that.
Oh yeah,
with
absolutely.
Dove, where he gave her the trigger and she was like, click, and he's like, shit, I gave you the trigger, and just gone. Like, fuck you guys, I'm out.
It's very much when I saw that happen, and I mentioned this before we started recording. Hank is a dickhead. He really is. Like, call it what you will. He was an alcoholic. He was abusing drugs. He was using his suit so he could like wrestle and fight people for money. Like, his character arc has been great. He is sort of come back to, the world, and he's doing his thing. But to me, I think that he was the perfect character to kill off and to put in a situation that needed to be saving. One, he's one of the strongest people that they have, like just brute strength wise. I'm not saying like power wise. 2, he has an emotional connection to almost everyone on the team. He's like a big brother to Beast Boy. He's Dawn's love interest. He's Dick's friend. I mean, obviously he becomes friends with Starfire as well, but like this dude has that emotional connection to almost everyone on the team. So putting him in a position, and he's super fucking volatile. So giving him the heart rate monitor that was going to determine when he dies, like I thought that was perfect, because again, trying to calm him down the entire time, trying to keep him relaxed and doing his thing. Like, I thought that was genius. I thought it was cool that Jason sort of humiliated him first. Like that was his go-to, was like, get naked. I'm going to make you do all this dumb shit, and then I'm still going to beat the shit out of you.
So, like you said, he was kind of like a big brother Beast Boy. That whole like old English captain thing, did they do that at any point before?
No.
Or was that okay?
No, that was just fucking like, weird. I thought it was funny. It was just like real, like random. And I thought that to myself too. I was like, they don't, again, I guess you don't see like the behind the scenes stuff, like the day to day that goes on in Titan's Tower, or the day to day that goes on like in Wayne Manor.
Right.
But yeah, I think it was just him trying to be like ritzy and fancy. And I think Hawk just went along with it, which is cool. Like, again, he understands that Beast Boy is only what, 15?
Probably around there, 15, 16.
Yeah, like he's still a kid. So like he came in and he joked with him, a dude who's got to be in his 30s. I mean, Christ, this guy's been in fucking Blue Mountain State 10 years ago. He was a college student. So
did you guys catch the especially you, Jay, did you guys catch, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but the imagery from Batman vs Superman in that 3rd episode?
I maybe not.
When Hank dies, it's Superboy who's running into the explosion, just like when the chick blows up the Senate hearing and Superman's like standing there in the flames because he couldn't see the bomb through the lead wheelchair. This time it was like he ran into it, the explosion goes off. This time it was Superboy who was kind of in the flames.
Yeah, and then Crypto.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it's one of those emotional scenes because they had the ability to save it. Like they were gonna save him.
Right.
And Dawn's emotions caused him to be dead. And I think, again, like I said, because of his character positioning, Dawn's going to go into a depression. Dick's going to try to save her because Dick's in love with her still. Beast Boy's going to go into a depression. It's going to basically tear the team apart for at least an episode.
Do you think Jason has eyes in Wayne Manor?
I want to say yes, just because he's still, I mean, like even Dick Grayson, who's not been a Robin for God knows how long, still has access to all of Wayne Tech. And how did Jason get the Wayne Tech without, like, I don't think Jason was stealing shit before he got murdered and revived into the Red Hood. So maybe he's like sneaking around at night when everyone's like asleep.
I think he's getting his from Wayne Enterprises.
I mean, even still, I just, there's got to be a fucking explanation as to like how all of this shit's going down. And yeah, you're right. He probably does have eyes in Wayne Manor because, again, all he needs,
like, Hank
all of a sudden he's a fucking genius.
Well, like Hank was talking like mad shit on him, and it's like as soon as Hank was alone, that's when he gets the phone call.
Oh yeah, and I thought that was a nice nod to the fact that like he kind of knew in the back of his mind, and he also played to Hank's fucking weakness. He was like, I'm scared, like I don't know what's going on. I'm not doing, like, it's not me. I'm not controlling myself, whatever. He fucking played the shit out of him, and it was smart. But that also leads me to, is it someone else, pulling the strings? And I'm not saying that the whole Jason breakdown thing was real, but could it have been somebody that was smarter than him? Because Dick even said it. He's not a reader. Why is he reading chemistry books?
Which doesn't actually follow the real Jason, but besides the point.
Yeah, no. Well, I think for this series, Jason's just supposed to be like an unhinged kid that doesn't give a shit and kind of just wants to beat people up. Like he's the school bully.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
that
like,
was always Jason's thing, but like he was never like a dummy. He just had anger issues. Like that was literally.
Weird. I mean, again, I guess they never technically said that he's stupid. They just say that he's not very bright when it comes to like technical shit.
Yeah, he just goes off of what he thinks.
Yeah, he's very emotional.
His first thought is, let me just run headlong into this. Wait, can we talk about something else that
hit it.
I want to. So, Barbara.
Okay.
I want to know if they're going to put a backstory on why the actress only has one leg, or if they're going to say it's like, that is why she's in the wheelchair partially. Like,
well, I mean, obviously
Joker cut her leg off.
Well, they mentioned Joker shooting her. They could just spin it that way, like it needed to be amputated.
Yeah, because I was like, am I just the asshole who thinks she only has one leg?
So that's
are they good at hiding the other one? Like, what is happening?
They're just playing hide and seek.
Yeah, my question here is, did the Joker shoot her in the leg and she lost it? And obviously she's in the wheelchair, but like the other leg still works. So we could have Mecha Barbara Gordon with a mecha leg in this series.
Mecha Barbara Gordon versus Godzilla.
Goddamn right. I don't know, man. Mecha Barbara Gordon's pretty terrifying.
I thought you were taking the Mephisto train to the death.
This ain't Mephisto, homie. I don't know.
I know, but
I don't know. I don't know who the DC devil is, but
Lucifer.
I'll ride that train. Who?
Lucifer.
Oh yeah, that's true. I would actually, I would kill to see Lucifer in this. That would be fucking tight.
Like literally, he has the crossover in the Arrowverse.
Yeah,
Terran Crisis. Like he is the devil of the DC.
I would actually like
Lucifer
to see
Morningstar,
or at least he's one of them. At least I don't know if there's multiple, but
Is there multiple devils?
Well, there's
I
other
don't know.
like
There's multiple
Not
gods
necess-
in a lot of religions. So
I would say technically they're not devils, but I mean like with Wonder Woman, you have Zeus, Ares, and all the Greek gods. I would assume there would have to be Hades.
Hades
You
isn't
have,
the
like-
devil though. He's just the god of the underworld.
And
Yeah,
what
but I
is-
mean, like,
He
what is
doesn't
the
punish
devil?
people.
Lucifer's not a devil either. He's just a fallen angel.
Right.
Yeah.
If you want to
Um,
get technical.
I mean,
I
you
mean,
got, like,
Hades, it's the exact same storyline.
you have
Fall from
Etrigan,
grace.
who's a demon.
Yeah, fall from grace, used to live on Mount Olympus, now lives in the underworld.
He didn't fall from grace though. They were in Greek mythology. They divided the three main kingdoms up: the sky, the water,
You know, the Zeus
And the
fucked him.
underworld.
and the underworld. And he got the underworld, which
He got screwed.
not really. Hades is very in Greek mythology, very underrated on a power level.
Yeah.
Like, all honesty, everybody always talks about how Zeus is all powerful. Zeus isn't even the most powerful fucking Greek god.
Well, and that's
Poseidon.
true.
When
but
it comes-
Zeus may have been part of creating one of the many Greek gods. I was having this conversation with someone a couple weeks ago. Like, look at any Greek mythology tree. It's like Zeus,
is in there somewhere.
Zeus,
Yeah.
Zeus.
Well, because Zeus. Wait, can we also talk about something else that's extremely hilarious about that whole fact? Zeus married the woman that's about like family and refuses
Hera.
to cheat, and she's married to the dude who cheats on his wife more than anybody else on the fucking planet.
Yep,
Mhm.
that's why Disney's Hercules is one of the most poor representations of Mount Olympus ever, because Zeus is just like half of those people out there Zeus has had a child with.
Well,
Or
literally,
they're his children.
Yeah.
that's why there's so many demigods, because Zeus would just be like, "Oh, you're talking shit on the gods. I'm gonna come down and bang your wife."
Bam!
Baby.
Perseus. But yeah, that's I mean, it's a crazy concept, and I would like to see, you know, how they sort of tie everything back together. They talked about bringing Donna back to life if it's possible.
Well, that's where Raven is.
Yep.
Wait, but what if the same thing happens to Donna that happened to Jason and Jason was also kind of crazy. What if she goes crazy? What are they going to do?
Killer with lightning.
Or any of the other god-killing weapons they have on Themyscira.
Yeah, I didn't realize that a falling Ferris wheel is a god-killing weapon from Themyscira.
It's a new one. They're working out the details.
Yeah, it seems like it's like a one-hit wonder.
Dude, don't even get me back.
God damn it. Now you got me thinking about this because I could definitely see somebody just being like, just having something small and just like throw it at somebody and it just becomes a giant Ferris wheel, it just falls on them from Greek mythology.
Dude,
I
I'm
mean,
just
it
getting this
wouldn't
much
surprise me.
aggravated again because I forgot that that's how she got killed off.
I forgot how you
Like-
got killed off.
Like,
too.
I remembered that she died. I just forgot how she died because I pretty much just blacked it out of my memory.
Well, can we talk about the fact that Aqualad died in the most bitch way too? That sucked.
He got shot by Deathstroke. Didn't he?
Way.
That ain't a bitch way.
Did he? I thought he got killed by his own water.
No, because he was with Donna and he saves Donna.
Ah, okay,
Deathstroke
never
was
mind.
trying to kill Donna
Yeah.
and then he like pushes her out of the way and gets shot.
Yeah, but even still, like that, Aqualad would have been a cool character to see. Again, in
Yes.
the animated series, they had like Titans East, which is
But
like Aqualad.
I can
Bumblebee.
respect a character being
Awesome
killed
Manos.
by a. Deathstroke is arguably the best mercenary between.
I
Marvel
forgot
and
how he
DC.
died.
He's not a fucking Ferris wheel.
That's true. I
But
would
how else are
gladly,
you gonna kill her?
if I had to pick a death, I would take being shot over grabbing a Ferris wheel to stop someone from being crushed and then dying. Because again, maybe I'm wrong. I could be. Is Superboy not faster than her?
Yes.
I believe
So-
he is, but I
So
believe that
could he have not done the exact same thing and just like eaten the brunt of the electricity because nothing's going to kill him?
pretty much. I mean,
Kryptonite.
that was something that I think we talked about when we did last season.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
But
It's all
I-
Superboy's fault, bastard.
I mean, he had only been Superboy for like 48 hours at that point. So he
It's
was
still
still
all his
kind
fault.
of he was still kind of learning, but it also falls into the story writers have to like have to do something. Just like if you look at like Just look at anything that happens in Gotham. Why doesn't Superman or the Flash just stop everything? Like with the speed that they have, they could literally stop 99% of the crime throughout.
Not an Avengers level threat.
No, but I'm saying like,
well, and that true could be said about the Flash in like any fucking world conflict. But it's super funny because I'm watching season 7 of the Flash now. Like I guess I just like blacked out for the past 2 years and like forgot that the Flash was a show.
Yeah.
And I'm watching season 7 now, and the one episode, the fucking chick's like, "What did you do for the world? Like, what good did you do?" She's like, "I could, end world hunger in a day." And it's like, this is the villain talking to him, by the way. She's like, I could double crop sizes and do this and do that. And like, I could change the world and make it a better place. And you have all of this power and you've done nothing. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're
like,
not
stop making
wrong.
sense. Stop making sense. It's not fair.
Well, yeah. And I was like, Jesus Christ, like he really could just go plant like a million fucking things of corn.
He's not fast enough.
He is. And you know what kills me?
Making the joke, because that's literally the trope of every season is
I
not
know.
fast enough.
Well, you know what fucking kills me about that show? The season with, I'm sorry, we're getting off fucking rails right now. This is my brain train.
We dug down a giant rabbit hole. We're just taking it.
We did. It's going to get bad. So real quick, the season with Savitar. So the season with Savitar, his entire thing is, how do I become fast enough to save Iris from being killed? And then he's like, I can't move, whatever it was, like the 50 feet in, 0.01 seconds fast enough. I can't do it. It's not possible. So they like figure out that they're going to have someone shapeshift and look like Iris, whatever. Cool. But then the end of that fucking season, he drops off wedding invitations to every one of his friends. And that includes Oliver Queen, who lives in a different fucking city that's hundreds of miles away, and he does it in like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
No, you're either fast enough or you're not fast enough. And obviously, wedding invitations was more important than saving your wife.
Through the power of love and Harrison Wells, anything is possible.
He is the paragon of love.
That bullshit.
I'm just honestly, I'm only rewatching, or I guess I'm only watching season 7 because I need to watch season 8 when they bring Impulse in, and Godspeed becomes like the main big bad. So,
God damn it!
I don't even give a fuck about the show. Like the show has gotten so campy, but I really I want to see Godspeed. Like at this point, I'm like, can I just fucking Google the only fucking important episodes that I need to watch that lead up to that? Like the speedster type fights, those are fucking awesome. Like this last episode that I just watched, fucking Killer Frost took velocity 10 and was running fast as shit and shooting fast ice and shit. I was like, this is fucking cool, man.
That was a badass moment in that season. Like,
speaking of ice things, we're gonna circle back towards Titan.
Go ahead, please. Get me back on track.
Barbara making fun of Mr. Freeze.
Yes.
Oh, that was fantastic.
The dude with a big refrigerator on his back. Like,
yeah. I was like, that is fantastic. I love that she's just coming at Mr. Freeze's neck.
How do you guys feel about them using Scarecrow as a consultant?
That's not the worst idea I've ever heard.
I think it's funny that it's just like a pothead.
Yeah, right. I was just about to say that. I was like, I think it's absolutely hilarious. Like holding, he's a fucking pothead.
He's literally holding information ransom because he won't give him weed. He's like, do you have rolling papers? He's like, I do. He's like, I knew I liked you.
Yeah.
It's
also, who is his friend who could get him flames?
My guess would be Pyro, or not Pyro. Oh my God, Firefly.
Ooh, that's fair.
He's in prison. The prison's more than likely Blackgate. If he's in Blackgate, that's where they house all the major criminals. It's right outside Gotham.
I thought he was at Arkham.
Is he at Arkham?
Because
I don't know if that was Arkham.
Yeah, they show the Arkham like fence, and that's when he goes and talks to him.
Either way, you could make an argument that either one of them would have Firefly too. But that would be my guess is Fire, like just going off my knowledge of the different villains.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder what villain that would they use that has the fire powers.
Yeah, I'm curious if that's going to come back later in the season too. Like that would be a pretty cool.
I could see Scarecrow being somehow behind everything.
Well, so originally when Jason took the inhaler of shit, I was like, is that like Scarecrow fear gas? Like he's been basically using the fear gas to live his fears so that he was no longer afraid of them.
Which, I mean, I could see it. That would be kind of a cool plot line.
Yeah,
and
but
like
at the
he had a
same time,
conversation with Scarecrow about the shit, and like he learned how to make it, and that's why it's not in their database.
I was just about to say that. I was like, but it's not in the database, so maybe he improved it.
Yeah, so maybe he made it better. So like instead of a fear gas, it's like an anti-fear gas.
Something maybe. I could see it being anti-fear gas.
I mean,
That was my thing because
he had the
he's talking
flashback.
I'd say when he's talking to Bruce, he has the flashback. Then he takes the inhaler, his eyes dilate, and then he's like, all right, let's go. And then he gets his ass whipped.
Yep. All that prep. Get your ass beat. And he didn't even put up a fight either. That was the worst part.
Yeah, like he got hit like once in like the back. He's like, ugh. And then he's down on the ground. He's just getting walloped on. I'm just like,
Although,
okay.
I mean, in all fairness, I can't even talk shit. Like if somebody hit me in the back with a fucking heavy crowbar, like I'm probably going down too.
Yeah, but
So,
I'm still at least gonna like try to kick him in the knee or something. Like I'm not
I don't
just
know.
gonna.
All right,
Bro,
Jay,
I don't even think he had a chance to do
Jay, you're
anything.
skinny like the Joker. Hit Mark in the back with a crowbar.
Yeah, I'm a little
Well,
bit.
okay.
I'm a little bit bigger than Jason Todd, I think.
You a little bit, you're a lot of bit bigger. But I guarantee you, did he hit him in the back, like actual back, or in the back of the head?
I mean, it's a crowbar. It probably took a decent chunk out of everything you just mentioned.
Okay, whatever. So I'm gonna get a crowbar and hit Mark just square in the back of the fucking shoulder blades.
I say I've hit Mark in the back of the head with some shit before. Don't.
He had a helmet on.
I'm not done with you.
So if you get back here.
Yeah, now our listeners are gonna go on Google trying to find this shit.
Is it on Google?
Probably everything's
I
on
say-
fucking Google now.
Yeah, so knowing our friend group, it's probably on YouTube somewhere. But
No, it is fantastic. Now I want to YouTube and see if I can find this.
yeah, it's it was good stuff. I liked the nuances in this. I liked some of the subtle nods to the previous seasons. I love the fact that like they kind of got new confidence in themselves and some new costumes. I'm about it. I'm ready. Bring me the next episode.
I'm excited to see where they go with it. Like I said, the only thing that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way was killing off the Joker off screen. Like if you're gonna kill him off, like at least show Bruce like open, like even if you just show Bruce opening like a cell door and all you see is like not the Joker, but you see like the green hair like over the back of Bruce's head or something. Like show something that gives it to us. Like don't just be like, he dead.
Well, I would have also
or they
taken...
open the cell door and you just hear the laugh.
Right,
and
like,
it dies out.
Like something.
Well, and I would have gladly taken this as well. Bruce. And so a converse scene to Jason Todd's death. So in Jason Todd's death, you saw the Joker from like a little above the knee down, beating him with the crowbar. Right. I would have taken Bruce from part of the knee up, beating the Joker with a crowbar. So you don't necessarily see the Joker, but you see the swinging action.
Right.
And you hear like the body thud. I'd be cool with that because it would have shown a different perspective on it. Like the villain focused on killing the hero, whereas the hero is focusing on redemption. And DC, anytime at HBO, anytime you want to call me for, consultation, I'm here, please. Cause I just made that up on the spot and that sounded fucking awesome. So just throwing that out there, checking the box.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I'm hyped to see where we go from here. I want to see if they do any more with his Scarecrow now, or if that was just kind of like a one-off thing. Because now Jason's back, there's really no investigation anymore into his death because he's not dead. But
but there's got to be like an investigation into like what the fuck happened. Where did his body go? Who took his like? Obviously, the dude took a body, but it may not have been Jason's.
right. And I mean, Scarecrow's not a name that you just name drop. Like,
Yeah,
I
no,
feel
you're
like,
not just gonna like ignore him.
right. So, I mean, I think that there's something in the storyline for Jonathan Crane. I just don't know what yet.
All right. Yeah, I mean, as far as the first 3 episodes, that's really all I've got. I'm excited for the next one. If they drop 3, that would be dope. But if they just drop 1, I'm cool with that too. Because I really don't want it to be like a 3-week season. Like you said, it's probably only 9 episodes anyway.
It's 13.
Oh, 13. Even still, like I don't want
That's
it to,
5 weeks.
If they do 3 a week, it's 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Do 3 a week, and then that puts you up to 12, and then you still have 1 more episode left.
Yeah, I mean, if they did like a
by
big season finale, like a double length season finale, I'd be cool with that.
Right.
Dude, it's about the same as this. If they do it like that, like a 5-week thing, it's 1 week shorter than Loki was.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not mad. I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't drop it all at once because I would have guaranteed binged it all by now by accident and like just said fuck it. But
that's what I did with last season. I waited it out a little bit and then I just binged the whole thing in a row. Yeah. One day, wasn't feeling good, just fucking watched it all.
Great show. All right, gents, that's all I've got for this episode. Mark, final thoughts?
That was really it. Just stay tuned for the giveaway that we have coming up. We do want to make a correction. It was not X-Force. It will be X Factor, which is still X-Men. Along the X-Men lines. But yeah, we're going to have a really fun giveaway. It's going to be a couple comics, and a Funko Pop figure. So keep looking out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram for the instructions on what to do. We'll be making posts there. Again, on Facebook, we're Something Super Podcast. Twitter at SS Podcast 52. And on Instagram, it's at Something Super Podcast.
All right, Jay, give me your final thoughts.
My dad missed a golden opportunity to name me after the Red Hood.
I mean, you were named after Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, I know, but my dad, funny, weird thing that we could tell everybody. My dad, the only reason I was not named after Jason Todd was because they decided to kill him. And he refused to name his child after the Robin that got murdered.
That's fair.
By the American people.
I mean, that's reasonable. Maybe, Jay, you can name your child Jason Todd.
I'm probably going to.
All right. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Mark, you gave us the wonderful coverage on our social media accounts, but we are also on all of your major streaming apps. That is Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. You can find us on pretty much anything. Give us a search on Google. Lastly, I'm Steve.
I'm Mark.
I'm Jay.
And we'll catch you guys next week.